पोडियम हटा दें, पोडियम हटा देते पीछे पीछे ले जाओ इसके लिए लिस्ट है।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
30 सेकंड। हरे कृष्ण, सबसे अनुरोध है अपने अपने मोबाइल स्विच ऑफ कर दें या वाइब्रेटर मोड पे रखें। सभा के मर्यादा का ध्यान रखें, अनुरोध है।
I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes with torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. This was in early 1980. I came from New York and wanted to go to Jaipur to acquire Shinaji deities. We were installing for the first time. And on the way back, we stopped at Ahmedabad temple that was in Sabarmati area, ashram area, that's it. And just visiting, but Yasho told me, can you stay here for a couple of days? I said, why? I said, Gopal Krishna Maharaj just got approved as a guru, and he's coming for the first time, and we're having some initiations. I saw Vasu Ghosh also there. He was struggling to manage the fire pit with and he was also one of the priests at that time. So devotees went to get Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and this was the first ceremony that has to be taken place in Gujarat at least. I don't know Maharaj initiated anywhere else before. Where were the first initiations? Eh? That is what I'm saying. Right. So I was there. And 82, okay. What's the difference between 81 and 82? Only one. So, I'm supposed to be 14 days older than him. I should have gone first. That's my anticipation was then. Why did he go first? But anyway, he was well prepared, well matured, well certified to return home back to Godhead. And that's what he taught me also. Now in that situation, Ahmedabad temple didn't have many devotees there. Yasho was the only senior most devotee, and probably then my turn was there, and I was just visiting. So he said, can you lead Guru Puja? So Gopal Krishna Maharaj was made to sit on the Vyasasana And I led the Guru Puja, and Yasho himself performed Aarti. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj was completely, in shock that how come my godbrothers are doing this? If you remember, you are not older than me. So I led Guru Puja, and Yasho was offering, and Gopal Krishna Maharaj was shaking, and he was not ready to accept this. I think out of humility he did set, but internally he was completely withdrawn. He didn't anticipate, at least his godbrothers, to do such an honorific thing. But being a guru for India, he was completely in control of himself. He remained very steadfast over the years since 1995 onwards, when the centennial celebrations were, he got me involved. I was in Bharatpur at that time, but he put up a challenge. We don't have to purchase anything, including sabjis or sweets or khoya even, from Vrindavan. No fruits. I said, okay. There were 800 devotees coming from Russia, and somehow or other they paid for their tickets, but the festival charges were completely, squandered by somebody. And we didn't realize that. So Mayapur and Vrindavan had to take 50-50 loss, which amounted to about 2 lakhs at that time each. So that challenge also we had to take up. I had a monkey army of the orphans, and they were very enthusiastic, so they gave me a school bus, and I used to purchase everything from Bharatpur and bring it to Vrindavan, and Maharaj was keeping an eye on me. Of course, I came to Delhi temple for acquiring all the 35 cooks from here. So they were to be shifted, and we had about more than 3 days program, and shifting the kitchen from here to Kusum Sarovar, where the programs were held, and then wind up and bring it back. So prasadam should be distributed. I mean, that's a kind of challenge we had to take. And I remember, even though centennial celebrations were to be done in the heat, and yet I had to get certain sweets from Bharatpur that a word may not be familiar with it, the name even. It was called bistro. It's a kind of kurchan, but kept in cold with a round up like a bedding. So it's called bistro. And somehow or another we had to face this. So in centennial celebrations, all the devotees were managed, and moreover 65,000 rupees were surplus. I don't know how did anybody could do, but Ganpati Prabhu and Gopal Krishna Maharaj, they had a good teamwork. So they covered many things. And the centennial celebrations were very successful. Now, Maharaj said, I should become regional secretary and this and that. He gave opportunity, but generally cooks are coming from Brahmin family in India. So I was also born Brahmin, and I wouldn't put my nose into some kind of nitty-gritty, working. And at such a large scale, Maharaj was the GBC, so he knew. Moreover, he was highly qualified as an MBA, and so management was in control. But how he's balancing everything was a complete surprise to me. Even certain situations where devotees were to be reprimanded, he said, Prabhupada said, to make one devotee you have to, shed tons of blood. So he would go to any extent to protect the devotees, whether they are his own disciples or somebody else's. But anyway, my head was not into the administration, so I was a preacher, and I wanted to remain a preacher. So I asked, I don't need any political association. I need only spiritual association. And Maharaj granted that so much that even in the on and off visits, I get invitations from the disciples and himself, Heman, to come and preach. And the best aspect of his personality is his deity worship, and especially chanting his Gayatri. Because in those times, till 2004, I was associating pretty close with him, but at the same time I was observing his meticulous deity worship. He would take more than 25 minutes for chanting Gayatri. And regularly the devotee would take all the 3 Gayatris set in 25 minutes. That's not good. But anyway, he showed by this example that, you have to chant so much like a meditative Gayatri. And his deity worship, shalagrams, even though it was so cumbersome to carry the deity, because I was also carrying my deities, Radha Shamshan, all over the world. And then he said, where are your devotees? We often cross each other in the airports, and Janardhan Maharaj and once, they were struggling because generally with the deities and everything else, his paraphernalia is so much heavy that Maharaj has to pay excess heavy luggage, extra luggage. But one time, somehow or another, I was also there, and some of my disciples were also there, and they were knowing some manager at the time, and somehow we got rescued from that cumbersome situation. And but it was extremely difficult at that time for Maharaj to carry. But yet he never gave up, So he was very, very much concerned about his worship, his personal sadhana, and the temple worship. Besides his private worship, temple worship was very meticulous. He would be present almost in every occasion in Vrindavan and elsewhere also. So a total commitment in every aspect of a devotional career. Maharaj was outstanding, number one, and he should be glorified for that. Then that is sadhana bhakti. How the sadhana has to be done was exemplified by him. So it's very important for us to learn, because we are all sadhaks. Procedure is there, and we must follow the procedure as it is shown by. And so he was a perfect example to follow. I don't know how long or how many devotees are caring for their deity worship. But as a sannyasi, as a GBC, as a guru, I mean, multiple services that he has to render. Moreover, mind-boggling, shifting the situation so everything can be worked out in the ultimate train. I mean, what kind of brain he would have? Maharaj is super intelligent, super educated, and super performer of the task for all of us to imbibe. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, His Holiness Vedas Preswami Maharaj. We want to request His Grace